subscribe.
The Angry Ops Guy podcast, featuring Mike and Christina, pushing the ops machine forward no matter the grind. Real talk, real stories, and hard truths from two battle-tested pros.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Angry Ops Guy podcast. We're doing something a little bit different today. This is not your standard podcast drop, but we're dropping a little bit of bonus content for you. Some quicker clips or quicker episodes that we're going to drop on the off weeks that we don't record the podcast and drop them for you. Christina, nowhere to be found today. She didn't join the meeting. She doesn't want to record. She's apparently too busy, or she quit the podcast. So, Christina, nice to know you. But I have replaced you with my bonus content friend, Emily. She's back again this week. She had nothing better to do. She said, forget CIPR and all the work she has to do. Let's sit here and enjoy to talk about AI-generated songs that nobody has listened to, nobody cares about, and Mike's going to sit here and talk to you about them. Emily, what's
Mike
up?
loves to call me out for not listening to the songs, so now I listen to all of them.
Did you really?
They're actually pretty good. Yeah, the one you posted today I listened to. Recharge.
Well, guess what? That song I dropped to you like 4 months ago, so I'm glad you listened to it finally.
Yeah, he probably did. If you're listening, that's probably a big truth right there.
No, but we're gonna, like you said, we were talking, Emily and I, as we were understanding how to evolve the podcast and where would these songs have a place, because this is a side project of mine that kind of spearheaded some of the themes and lyrics and sound bites that we've been using on the podcast, and just didn't know how to integrate them. So what we want to do here is we're going to spend, a short amount of time kind of talking about some fun stuff about them and some of the underlying meanings of some of the lyrics and some of the AI stuff that we use to, generate it. And give a better appreciation to, what's gone into these and how, AI has allowed us to build sound bites and music that can help with the Angry Ops Guy brand. So, Emily, what do you want to know? Since obviously it's all in my head that, I've built these out, but I'm curious to see how you interpret it and what you want to know.
I want you to back up just a little bit because you've been dropping a ton of songs and that's amazing, but tell us why. Why are you creating an album? Like,
Yeah, that's a funny story. Well, I'm sure it's not funny, but it's an interesting story. I think I said this on the last episode that we dropped with Christina, went to WSI convention and was in a presentation where Cheryl from head office was speaking about some things that they have been leveraging and doing and testing and playing. And one of them was about creating like song jingles and a way to approach a customer for something cute and fun. And they mentioned that, some customers really resonate with that kind of playfulness. And, Angry Ops Guy over here in the back, spewing venom, just rolling my eyes, steam shooting out of my ears. I'm like, I am never sending a client a song. Like, I'm not doing it. And so that's typical Mike, just blow up with no rhyme or reason. So stewing on it for the whole week and coming back on the plane. And I was like, you know what? Now we're starting to try to figure out, should we do this podcast? Christina just put a lightning rod in my rear end to say, like, you should do it and let's explore it. And so I'm like, well, podcasts have songs or intros and outros and cool vibes and themes and stuff like that. So I'm like, I better create something here. And Cheryl's presentation, ironically, even though I left it going, well, how the hell does this have merit for me? It allowed me to say, let's go play with something. And I just got in there and like anything, trying to learn a technology or a system. And once you start hearing something and then you're like, okay, and then you start playing with your own lyrics and all of a sudden you got something that jives with you. And then it just was like, I think I've said this on another episode. It was like literally the light bulb went on for me about AI, because that was really one of the first things that I did in the AI space, being a little late to the table. And it really spearheaded what I wanted to do with AI with the agency, how I'm using it daily, and now turning into just a fun side project. I use the lyrics as outlets to get what's on my brain off my brain, to try to shout out friends and fun stories and history. And again, when you sit and kind of reflect on how do you do ops themed songs, I've got 20 years worth of stories and experience and issues and challenges and friends. And it's a cool way to reflect on your career and trying to put it in a medium that maybe other WSI or digital marketers will just have some fun with.
Nice. I like that. I think it's really funny that you were so resistant to making them at first because if you know Mike, and I don't know him that well, but I know him well enough to know that he loves music. So it's really funny to me that he's like, I could never do that.
Well,
Um,
because I thought you have to be musician, right? Like,
oh,
fortunately or unfortunately, technology is allowing anybody to be able to do this right now. So it's I think one of the bigger themes too is before the podcast idea came to light, and again, big shout out to your boss lady, Christina, because she really was the solidifying factor of like excitement to say, oh my God, you do this and I want to do it with you. And right away, my insecurities were just like, no, Mike, you're not going to put yourself out there like that. Like, I don't, that's not me. But she's challenged me and you've challenged me to kind of get outside the box. And so it's like, yeah, put something out there and have some fun with it, live a little bit. And, you can, the great thing about music or lyrics is you can say a lot, but not say a lot. And some of that is personal or meaningful to you and others won't get it. And some people dig into the jam, other people's resonate with the lyrics. So, again, it's just been a cool outlet. And that's why I'm adamant about sharing them is it's not to get, rah to say, oh, good job. And, oh my God, it's just to make people in the WSI ecosystem laugh. It's to take the edge off a little bit of the stress of what digital marketing can be day in and day out.
nice.
And who
I love
doesn't
that.
like pop punk rock? Because I grew up with Teenage Heartache, like everybody did in the Blink 182 pop punk era of why the girl left you and never came back and you don't understand. And so I'm still living in high school. So I just took my notebook into the digital space and now let's put my heart on the strings and let's cry and scream and cut our wrists and put eyeliner emo rock together.
What a visual. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
I haven't grown up, just a little bit older and a little bit fatter, but haven't grown
Oh
up.
my goodness.
What do you want to know? What song do you want? The ones I've dropped 3 of them so far. I've dropped Chasing Deadlines, Too Intense, and today I released Recharge. Which one do you want to talk about today for a few minutes?
Let's do chasing deadlines because at the end
Yeah,
of the day, I'm extraordinarily vain and I get a shout out in that one. So let's talk about that one.
Emily's capitalizing on her own personal gain here.
Correct. When you can, you might as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it is genuinely though. I do actually really like this song. So when Mike got
I
mad
do
at me,
too. I like all of them for different reasons, but this, I've made 11 now, and I'm on number 12, and I'm fighting with what I want to do with that one. But this is my favorite of all 12.
nice. I
There's
like
just something about this song that gets me, and there is a cool story behind it. But there's just a feel of this one. Like my other ones are explosive and that got pop punk fast energy for 3 minutes, take you for a roller coaster. This one's just got like a wave and a vibe to it that's different. It builds and it uh yeah, it's just this one hits like the heartstrings for me for in a weird way. And I think I even said when I posted this, and that's why I posted this one first, I said like this is my 2025 song of hope.
Aw.
And I don't know why that is, but the underlying feeling of the song when I'm jamming to it gives me a feeling of hope. And that's important to me in my day to day is to have. Well, I sent you my other playlist. It's just called Hope. For those days where jumping out the window sounds like a good idea. All right, chasing deadlines. What do you want to know?
So I have two questions off the hop. The
Sure.
first one is why is it called Chasing Deadlines?
There's a song that has no sound and vibe like this one, but there's a song by a band called the Butthole Surfers, which you're going to say, what a disgusting name, but they have a song. The song is called Pepper by the Butthole Surfers, but it's not the song. It's not the song. I know it just doesn't make any sense, but it's not the song that got me there. That song that I really like came from a movie
Mm.
called Chasing Mavericks, and it's a surfing movie.
There you
But there's
go.
a part in that movie where this song kicks in, and that's where I get a lot of my music influences from movies. And that's movie's called Chasing Mavericks. So I think what I did was I associated with that. So that was the chasing, and then Mavericks is not us, but Deadlines is. Maybe that's what it is. Who cares?
I like that though. I get a lot of my music from
I do
movies.
too. Like that random eclectic stuff that you would never find and then just
Totally.
hits you in the feels on one part of a movie. And I'm just like Shazam for the win.
Yeah, right. I
I
love
would have
that.
never, ever explored a band called the Butthole Surfers. But anybody else that actually wants real music that's not made by an idiot in ops, go check out the song Pepper by the Butthole Surfers. Don't make the assumption that it's going to be garbage. It's a cool song. I really enjoy it.
There's a joke in
Coming to the Toronto Amphitheater, the Butthole Surfers. It's like, yeah,
there.
that's where I want to go in the summer.
Oh
Okay,
my
we
god.
said butthole enough. We got to bring this back to PG-13. Emily, come on. Get your head out of the gutter.
Okay, I have another question for you.
All right.
You talk a lot about Tuesdays in this song.
Because I fucking hate Tuesdays.
Hey, I'm getting that, but why?
Because everything in operations goes wrong on a Tuesday. Everything. It's the
Oh,
worst goddamn day of the week.
he loves a Monday though. Garfield, get lost.
Most people hate Monday. Oh, somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Tuesdays is doomsday. I get up and I literally get off the bed. And I'm like, fucking Tuesday. And as soon as I hit the email, shit's blown up. I don't know what it is, but Tuesdays suck. So that was the theme when I was trying to play that sucks game without being vile or whatever else. It's just like, and especially Tuesdays, ops sucks.
I feel like I kind of get that.
I don't know what it is. It's like you can hit Monday and it's like everybody's slow to get going, right? And just kind of Mondays nowadays are kind of like really try to get the machine rolling versus like, tons of meetings at 9:00 in the morning on a Monday. But Tuesday is when shit cracks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because I'm finding Mondays are like a more energized Friday, if you will.
It's an interesting way to reflect on it, but you're right. It's kind of like everybody has had a couple of days off. They do come back and everybody's not really miserable. But like Tuesdays that, they say like, oh, Wednesday's hump day. Tuesday's that gray day of the week where it's like, you got 3 left. There's only one that's gone by and you're in the dead and middle of ops and it's Tuesday. And then somebody above you says, guess what? And now there's pain. So yeah, I hate Tuesdays. I hate them. Like it's right up there with raw tomato. I hate Tuesdays.
Okay, I'm seeing this line here and I like it a lot, but it's not terribly positive. Revenue's a lie, success is fake. Why? Why did we do that?
Say the line again.
Revenue's a lie, success is fake.
Yeah, because that one there for me, what I'm trying to say in that is revenue is just a vanity metric. Everybody sits there and goes, oh, I'm a $5 million agency. I'm a $1 million agency. But all that matters is net profit. You can be a $5 million agency and be making $100. So kind of what I'm saying with that in my own reflections and whatever I was thinking at the time of writing that is just like, okay, great, your revenue's growing, or, the bravado of look at us, we're a big agency. It's, are you an efficient, successful agency that's making money? So yeah, success is perceived to be success, but true success is, making sure there's money in the bank. And that's what I'm learning in my operational transition of full COO of the agency is, again, you're not chasing that target to say, we're going to be a 2 million agency. We're going to be a 5 million, a 10 million. And great. But you could also be a $1 million agency with great net profit. And that's the sweet spot to stabilize and to have a sustainable agency. So that's kind of the theme behind that versus it's not being attackful in anybody. It's just the reality of like, if you're going to live or die with your bravado or your revenue, it doesn't really tell the right narrative. That's my opinion and I'm entitled to it.
Okay, Mike, you have a ton of different shout outs in this song.
Yeah. This is something I have fun with. I don't do it in every song, but when I find a vibe where I can bring people in, this is how I tell people I love them. This is the way I do it is how do I get you in here with something only I know or only something Emily or Christina or whatever is going to pick up on. And that's the moment where that person, if they do listen to this, they get that quiet smile going like, hey, there I am. That's the biggest compliment or biggest form of respect I can give you, to know that you're in my circle, is if you're going to be in one of these shout outs.
No. There's a lot of WSI shout outs, obviously. So why don't you share with your colleagues, maybe, who maybe don't know some of these folks as well, the meaning behind them. I don't know him personally, but he's starting to sound like the man, the myth, the legend he's talked about so much. Eric Cook,
Oh,
the Mountain
Eric Cook,
Biking
what a
Brute.
sexy son of a bitch of a digital marketer. Eric Cook, the mountain biking brute. Eric is one of my favorite people in WSI. Like I've said before on podcasts about him and stuff, he's like my big brother in WSI, and it's always been like that since the day I met him. He's such a nice man. He's so kind to me, and I look up to him. I respect him, and he's just one of those favorite people when I get to see him once or twice a year to get a big hug and talk shop and talk tech and everything else. So yeah, and I know Eric is such a passionate mountain biker, so that's my homage or my reflection of him. So yeah, he's the mountain biking brute. Because you ever got a hug or you've ever been near Eric Cook, he is a monster of a man. He's a big dude. So yeah, Eric Cook, you mountain biking brute, you sexy son of a bitch. I love you, man.
Hard to follow that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Lori is the Quebec OG. What's that all about?
So Lori McCullough out of WSI Montreal and her husband and partner Chris Murray in the business. Lori is literally my oldest friend in the sense when I say, let me clarify it. When I say oldest, it's in tenure. I have known her literally since I was a kid in WSI. So Lori is the first person outside of my Peter that I knew that was in another agency of WSI. We started to do some work together in the early years. She was a mentor. She was someone that helped me carve out tools and process when I didn't have it. We have transitioned that business relationship into a true, real friendship. And she's just one of those wonderful people. I love her so much. And like I said, her and Chris are like two of my two oldest WSI friends. They were the ones when I was a kid that Peter drags me to convention. You're like, nobody's going to want to talk to me. And they're the ones that are sitting, hanging out with me when others wouldn't, or others didn't know me other than a shadow in the background. So, and it's turned into, like I said, a friendship. They've had us up at their home, me and my wife, Melissa, to go to a Montreal Canadiens game and take us around Montreal and stuff. So if you haven't met Lori and Chris, you have done something wrong. And I suggest you get to convention or regionals and you meet them, because they are truly just salt of the earth people. So that's why Miss Lori is the Quebec OG.
Aww.
And what is the second part of that lyric?
Chris Murray's Forever Pursuit.
Chris Murray's Forever Pursuit, because they work together. They've been married far more years than I know. And they just have a beautiful friendship, like your Christina and your Peter. They're just, you can tell why they're together. You can tell why they're partners in life and in business. And as much as I poke a lot of fun at Chris Murray, because again, he's like another big brother, but we're the step brothers, like Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Like we attack each other. I had a lot more vile stuff in this song to attack Chris, and I took it out. So Chris Murray, if you are listening to this, I did you a favor on this one, pal, because I told him, I'm like, I'm coming for you, Murray. And he just goes, oh God. And I'm like, no, you know what? Don't ruin his. So that's the one line of getting Quebec in here. And that's who those two people are to me.
Aw, nice. There should be a couple more in here, I thought.
Well, Madame Presval.
Yes.
I think that one's what Madame Presval addressing the room.
Commanding the crew, but very close.
Madame Presval commanding the room. Again, President Valerie, wonderful lady. I have known her for a long time. Obviously not as close as others, simply based on not seeing her other than conventions or regionals. But she's always got time for me, always have a great chat with her. She's been a long-time friend and colleague with my Peter, obviously being 25 years with his agency. And I respect and look up to Valerie when she's up on stage. I like listening to her when she does her presidential kind of statement, or State of the Union, as I call it, at convention. And she's inspiring. So, and I don't know why, but I call her Madame Presval. And so that's the way I put it together. So she's not President Valerie. She's not Valerie. She's Madame Pres. So
like
she doesn't even know it, but she's Madame Pres.
She knows now.
Yeah. Valerie, are you subscribed to the podcast? I need the president. I need the president to follow. Hint, hint. Thanks, Madam Prez.
Nice. Then there's really only one other shout out, and I'll give it to our lovely Miss Christina Pilarski because
What's the other shout out?
Spin Class Warriors, my podcast gals, late night texts, we're WhatsApp pals.
Yeah, well, what people may not know is not only are you and Christina partners in crime at work, but you also find a way to go have lunch and do spin class. That's your cardio, your blow off, your mental health. So that's why you're my spin class gals. And also, I have found a way to irritate both of you almost every night with audio recordings and messages on multiple WhatsApp messages. So that's why you're my WhatsApp pals, because without you two, I probably wouldn't talk to anybody in the evenings. So,
Aw, I kind of love that for
it's
us.
also kind of funny to say when we're dropping podcasts. I'm like, Em, when you want to drop it at this time, you're like, we've got spin class. I'm like, okay, I'm like, you can release it after. I'm sorry. Whenever you want, Em. I'm sorry.
I don't bully Mike as much as he would lead you to believe. But it's true. He has on multiple occasions said, "Can we drop it at this time?" And I've said, "No, we'll be
the one time was hilarious though. You're like, Mike, we can launch maybe like mid-afternoon or whatever, and then I forgot about the time zone. So I'm like, how about this? And you're like, that's not going to work. We're at spin class. And I'm like, oh, well. And then what did I reply back? I'm like, you release it whenever you have time today, Emily. I'll just sit here waiting for you. It's like, have a nice class.
I don't know.
So note to the WSI network who's listening to this, don't piss off ops women. It is not necessary. Just concede like any husband does in life. A happy wife is a happy life. Happy ops women means less stress. Now Christina Pilarski will tune in because she's going to be like, amen to that.
Oh boy. Yeah, those are all our shout outs. Our shout outs, as though I had anything to do with this. Mike is the mastermind behind these, so give him all the credit.
I love the part here that you can't really hear it well at one part, just the way it came together, but it's after the revenue piece. And then it says, staff hates my voice. They shout, what a dick. Do your job from your friendly ops prick. That's a stab on me because I know that I am just, there's lasers at me daily for me asking people to work and do things and whatever else. So there's some self-deprecation there of how I'm known around the office. I tickled myself with that one.
Oh, I did actually want to ask you about hurting me, hurting you.
Oh yeah, the part that comes out where it's like, we want a normal day. Yeah. We want a normal day. What does it go? My job is tough. My agency will never fall, or whatever it is.
Yeah. We want a normal day.
We want a normal
not
day.
Expressed with anger. My job is rough.
This fulfillment banger.
Hurting me, hurting you. I can't breathe at all. Our agency will never fall.
Man, if I ever get fired from WSI, I could be a lyricist. Come on.
You really could.
The hurting me, hurting you, it actually doesn't have any meaning. That section, I just wanted like a shouting kind of anthem chorus. I didn't know how the Suno was going to produce it, but I liked, as you can tell, the stuff before and after really has meaning. But it was just kind of a way to getting it flow. I was like saying it out loud. I'm thinking, how is it going to, I didn't want it to rhyme. I didn't want it to be like, because, pop punk can rhyme, but if there's too much rhyming, it's campy. So that one there was just like, we want a normal day, because that's the rage of ops. Like, I just want a normal day where I can work. I don't want to be on fire all day dealing with people's problems. So I want a normal day. What's the next line?
And not one expressed with anger.
Not one expressed with anger, because again, ops people are usually getting venom from clients because somebody's unhappy.
My job is rough.
Yeah, no. Mic drop.
This fulfillment banger.
I was just loving this song. I'm like, this song's a banger. And what do? Fulfillment 101.
It is a banger. He's right about it. If you haven't heard it, you should listen to it. Actually, we're going to put it at the end of this episode, so tune in. Hurting me, hurting you. I can't breathe at all. Our agency will never fall.
Yeah, the hurting me, hurting you just felt like it worked. I don't know if it was something I was feeling that day, and I was like singing something. I'm like, hurting me, hurting you, and I was like, okay, I'm going to use it.
Well, it reminds me of Knowing Me, Knowing You by ABBA.
I did not get it there, but okay.
different vibes, by the way. If you're expecting an ABBA song, no.
No, again, it didn't have any massive reason. I just felt it flowed with that. But then what I really liked about is the way I ended that piece, which is, my agency will never fall. Like, and that's that reinforcement of like, again, these things, what am I doing? What's going on? This sucks or whatever else. But like, that's the reinforcement that like under my watch, we ain't going down.
Nice.
And that's that reaffirmation that, the ops guy's crying inside and letting out his rage or whatever else, but he's the one that's committed to making sure they're going to see this through for clients, for colleagues, and for the boss. And that's that pride I have, is that's my responsibility. So yeah, I really liked that part of the song, because it just explodes in the final version. Like, we have this different vibe, and then that part's just like the lash out part where it like gets loud and it's like in your face and you can kind of like chant it or whatever. And then it comes back into that quieter piece as it builds up towards the end. So that was a really cool part of just like, when that part hits in that song, when I listen to it, it gets me going. Like, I want my volume louder when that part's on. But I also like the part with you girls in it, the pot, my spin class gals podcast, whatever. I like that part a lot too, and how that part blended. But that song, that's not actually a full song.
No, it's
I was
good.
trying to generate that song with lyrics, and I could not get the feel I wanted. And then I had one version, I was listening to it. I'm like, this is okay. And then in the middle of the song was the intro that you hear in that song, that nice kind of quiet, it builds up, and it goes. I heard that, and right away it was like one of those, ever have those moments with anything in life where you're like, it like takes your breath away for a minute. And I was like, I have something here, but I don't have enough.
Right.
So I tried. I couldn't figure out how to just get a full clean version. I was like, you know what? Go with your gut. This sounds cool. Basically, that song is actually 4 different generated clips, and then I had to take them into a sound producing platform and basically build the song and try to blend them so that it feels like it is. And then what I'm super proud is, because I've had to blend a couple other songs, and most people won't notice it, but I don't like the way they're done, and that's just the architect in it. But that one there, in my opinion, is just so clean in how it flows that, you wouldn't know that that's actually 4 audio clips blended to make one song, versus just, everybody thinks like, oh, Mike pressed the button in Suno and it generated. That's not even close. I probably generated 250 song versions just to get that clip. So yeah, super proud of that piece, because it just has a different feel. Like, pop punk can be fast and heavy drums and nasally vocals and childish humor, but that one just feels like a vibe. I hope people like it, because it's fun, and there's, some ops around it and my friends in it, but there's just something about that song. If I stop doing these, if I don't make any more, if I don't get anybody to listen to them, that one I'm going to hold on to. That's that if that era of song generation is over, that's the one to say I did something all right, and we've still got 11 more to show people.
Nice. I love
So,
that.
yeah, well, thanks for asking some questions about it and pretending to be amused with it.
I like it. I might like it even more now that you've told me everything.
Well, and that's it's funny you say that. That's why I wanted to do these kind of quick bonus clips, and explaining them, I think, will get people more interested to appreciate the lyrics more, understand them, and know that they aren't just generated by saying like, hey, I wanted to do a song about operations and GPT spit me out 4 verses and then I put a prompt in. We didn't even talk today, and maybe on the next one of these we do in a couple of weeks, you and I talk about the engineering of them and really what goes into the process of producing the next one that we talk about, because it's not as easy. It's not as streamlined as you think it is. So the first song, The Angry Ops Guy, the one that you still listen to, that I'm desperate to revamp because I hate it, that one there took me 3 days to get that. And the last one I did took me an hour and 30 minutes. So if you want to talk about Chat GPT, AI, and training your brain to extend your memory, that's proof of concept, and they're getting better with each one in the sense of feel and flow and sound, versus the first couple that were very raw and very kind of just all over the place. But I hope you like it, and We're going to let you, listen to the full song at the end of this, and get on Instagram, angryopsguy_WSI, our YouTube, or Work Vivo if you're a WSI person, and tell us what you think. Go listen and enjoy it. I'm currently figuring out how to put them on Spotify. I've been able to figure out how to put a playlist together, but to get them to stream to the public is a bit of a process. So looking at uploading them to the YouTube channel as a way for people to listen to them. And again, guys, anybody that's listening, have fun. Just have fun with them. Rock out. You don't got to be a pop punk fan. Just rock out. If you know me a little bit, you know WSI a little bit, you know digital marketing a little bit, they're meant to make you laugh. Go laugh at my expense and let me know what you think. And just thanks for following along. And Emily, more so, thank you for just spending some time with me today and getting to know my songs better and continue to be the engineer you are. I appreciate you.
Oh, appreciate you, Mike. Okay.
All right. Well, let's get out of here because your Christina's probably wondering where you are. And I don't need an angry WhatsApp message from an ops lady because remember, the path of least resistance is to just say sorry. So, Emily, did we solve anything today?
No.
All right. See you next week.
Good luck, buddy.
Myself, sharing the chaos helps my mental health. Every week in ops we're put to the test. Here's my statement, dogs are the best. Chasing deadlines, no end in sight. My humor's immature. Mr. Writer, the writer you're fired. Today, ops sucks. Some days, ops sucks. Most days, ops sucks. Always fucking Tuesdays, ops sucks. Revenue's a lie, success is fake. Benchmark numbers, a calculated mistake. Staff hate my voice, they call me a dick. Do your job! Oh, you ramble, you're friendly ops prick. Eric Cook, a mountain biking brute. Lori's the Quebec OG. Chris Murray's forever pursued. Madam Press Valerie commanding the crew. Then there's this ops loser, overeating like only moi can do. Today, ops sucks. Some days, ops sucks. Most days, ops sucks. Always fucking Tuesdays, ops sucks. We want a normal day, not one expressed with anger. My job is rough. This fulfillment banger, hurting me, hurting you. I can't breathe now. Our agency will never fall. Some days I win, most days I lose. But this ops grind, I can't refuse. Spin class warriors, my podcast gals. Late night text, where WhatsApp pals. Today, always ops sucks.